Alright everyone, I am recording my first ever Forumopolis cast with our lovely players Nick and Maxime. Maxime, his in-game name is Star Minstrel. He is also known as Thanatos on the forum sometimes. They are playing up against two other Zerg opponents, Spoon and Etravex. On the map Twilight Fortress. This map is pretty much known for how huge it is, and that it tends to either turn into a cheese game where players try to use unorthodox strategies to end the game early, probably because they're pulling their hairs out at the fact that they got this map to begin with, or that it ends up being a turtle fest, given that both players on one team share a choke, and their natural expansions are located within their choke, so it's rather easy to turtle up and just try and tech up to the end game. Judging by the fact that this is a 49-minute game, I'm going to assume that there's more turtling going on than anything else. But, yeah, we'll find out, I suppose. So I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. Again, this is my first commentary really ever, so I hope I don't disappoint too much. I'm probably just going to call these guys Red and Blue Zerg, because, well, they're Red and Blue Zerg, and our protagonists are over here in the upper right-hand corner. I'm also I may be coughing throughout the game. I'm recovering from an illness, so I apologize for that. I'll try and shield the microphone. So here goes nothing. I'm going to set the speed to faster, because that's the speed that the game is played on. And let's take a look at what happens. Looking at the production tab, nothing really unexpected so far. Blue is spamming his actions per minute down here, just selecting different units. No rally point set up. What's notable, I guess, now is that despite the fact that there are 3 Zerg players in this game, no one's trying a 6 pool. Looks like no one's trying an 8 pool either. Sending out those overseers, not sure how useful those are going to be. Again, this is a rather huge map. Looking at our heroes. Very standard play. Barracks going up by Nick. A spawning pool going up by Red. Okay. He looked like he 8-pooled, actually, and I don't know how I feel about an 8-pool on this map. It kind of seems like half-assing it. Like, if you were going to try an early Zerg harassment, you'd 6-pool it, simply because it takes forever for Zerglings to get all the way from over here to over here. Tan looks like he's 10-pooling now. Yeah, so Tan 10-pooled, and really, by the time that the Zerglings from this 8-pool get up here, Tan's going to have his own Zerglings out and have a better economy. Nick's probably going to have Marines out too in that span of time. Again, I don't recommend the 8-pool on this map, simply because you could have 10-pooled and still had just, had the economic advantage. It's so easily repelled. Alright, so we got the barracks up. Spawning pool going up for the other player as well. Seeing some Zerglings being morphed in. Wonderful. Getting the first of the Marines out. Again, in the production tab, you can see what units are being built. All players have right around now. Blues has a spike at the APM. Purple, Thanatos is not doing well. Oh, there we go. So, I don't know how I feel about actions per minute. I'm told this is important, and I believe him. These Zerglings are going out. Gonna meet this Marine, maybe. I'll chew him apart. Oh my goodness. Poor Marine. Nick, no, run! And they run right past each other, so I guess that was very anticlimactic. Maybe they'll see this one up here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So these Zerglings for Marine. Like I said, Tan already has his Zerglings out, and if we look at his income's a little higher, about 100 minerals per minute higher than Red players. And he has really Red just hurt his own economy there, it looks like. Nick's like he's doing a number, we're trying to finish up this wall, getting some more Marines out. He's got his gas, 1 extractor up over here, and a Roach Warren, so maybe with some Roach play. Notably, there's a fast expansion out here, so 15 expansion, 15 hatchery by this guy. Actually, 15 is pretty much what you see in standard play. Maybe it's a little early for a 2v2, but being that there is the shared choke here, yet you have your ally to defend you if you want to fast expand, especially considering he 8-pooled and he has Zerglings out to defend. Some Zerglings are going out, looking like they're scouting, maybe not yet to the Zelnaga Watchtower. Nick's building a factory here. Let me go back to the production tab. And a spine crawler going up somewhere. Maybe it was right there, finished. Roach Warren's up. You know, Queen's putting out some larvae. Don't see any roaches yet, but this expansion's done, so he's definitely bolstering his economy. Tan is getting his expansion as well. It's about halfway done, so we probably about got it at 18, 16-ish. Orbital command's up, Mule's going on. Both players turtling up, getting their economies going, it looks like. Wonderful. Fairly uneventful game so far. More and more drones. Let's see, creep tumors spreading creep everywhere. Small handful of Zerglings, handful of Marines. Tech lab going up at the factory, so we're not going to see a hell of a crash. Probably the only other unit he could build now are siege tanks. So probably going to see this, or maybe he's going to get the ignition and try and get the Italian upgrades, but we'll see. 2 evolution chambers going up for Thanatos. He's going to be upgrading those early. Those upgrades are so important. 1 is up already. Get out of bunker, help finish up that wall, and we're getting a siege tank and siege tech, so that is what's going on. Siege tanks very effective against ground armies in this map. Again, there's only this one choke shared between both bases. You can actually cover 4 bases just from 1 choke, so throwing up sieges around here tends to be incredibly effective. Tan's upgrading, wonderful, and going up to Lair Tech. Spoon has already hit Lair Tech, and Blue is moving there now. Etrivex. He's going ahead, and it looks like he's just building up his drones over there. He's got a handful of roaches. Looking at the units tab, we see that currently the army of Red is outdoing Nick and Dan's army, but again, the rush distance so long, teching up seems very viable. Siege tank is out. Siege tech is almost. Siege tech just finished, so we expect to see this guy change soon. Very little scouting done by Nick and Dan. Very little scouting done. There's just this overlord over here by the other team. So both teams are kind of operating blind at this point. Neither knows exactly what tech the other one's getting. They don't even see this factory here, so they don't know what to expect. Siege tanks. Again, running in one of these stray Zerglings might be a bit of a help. It would at least reveal the fact that they have siege tech, which is absolutely huge. Because if you're going a ground army, which they are, it looks like. Oh, Spire going up, so maybe I spoke too soon. So the Spire, it looks like there's going to probably be some Mutalisk harassment. Mutalisks are really good on this map, simply because it's so easy to hop around behind these bases and harass workers. And it's a big map, so air units that move fast tend to be pretty nice. But, you know, Siege Tank's still going to be effective against this ground army. Hydralisk Den just finished, so it looks like we're getting Roaches and Hydras by one player, and Zerglings and Mutalisks by the other. Both of those two are very common Zerg builds that I've encountered, but it looks like they're being put to use both by either player on one team. The Spire just finished, and we're seeing the first of 4 mutas go up. Nick's just described his expansion is upgrading straight to orbital command, I bet. Yeah, it's an orbital command. Getting both his factories, so maybe he's going to be doing something pretty gas-heavy here in the near future. He's continuing to pump out those siege tanks. Hydra's moving down. Other than that, take a look at what's going on down here. Armies gathering in the middle by the choke. Again, it's hard for 2 Zerg players to defend this choke because there's no SimCity thing they can do to wall it off until they get at least their creep there. Morphing an Overseer, maybe expecting some sort of harassment. I think I just heard a ComSat, so let's see what got ComSatted. Yeah, ComSat in the middle of the base by Nick. I don't know. Typically, when you ComSat a Zerg, you want to ComSat their buildings because they tend to build their tech buildings behind their mineral line, like you'll see is done here. So hitting the hatchery tends to get all of that stuff hit behind the mineral line. That way you can kind of get an idea of what they're going. Conversely, players tend to aggregate their units by their choke, so scanning the choke can give you an idea of what unit composition you want to see. Other than that, Infestor, so it looks like we might be seeing... Oh, Lair is already up. Wow, I'm sorry I missed that. More Hydras coming out. Hydras have the range upgrade. The range upgrade brings their range up from like 5 to 6, which doesn't sound like much, but it's great for kiting other Hydras. For one thing, it'd be great. I don't know. Does this player also have his range? He does not have his range upgrade. Okay, and not to mention that Mutalisk range is like 3. Yes, 3. So getting those free hits on the Mutalisk can be huge. 2 starports going up by Nick. Okay, so it looks like we might see some air units, either some Vikings or some